You heard there in the news that...
Just heard
that Buckingham Palace says the King has initiated a formal process to remove the style, titles and honours of Prince Andrew, who will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Now, you're in a strange constitutional position on this, aren't you? But do you have any response to that?
So the constitutional being Leader of the Opposition is a short form for His Majesty's Leader of the Opposition. I think, I've been following this story more about a family. It's a very sad state of affairs. I think that the King has clearly felt that this is the right decision for the royal family. It must have been a very difficult thing for him to have done. I mean, that's having to do that to your own brother. But the standards and expectations in society now are very high. People expect to see the very highest levels of integrity. And I'm afraid the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga and everyone it has touched, from Prince Andrew to Peter Mandelson, has just shown that the public has no truck whatsoever with any kind of sexual abuse, sexual offences, especially of minors. And I think that that's quite right.
Rachel Reeves, she's in the clear now, isn't she?
Well, I don't know that she is in the clear. And it's been fascinating watching Labour, lurch from one place to another. Let's remember, Keir Starmer said lawmakers shouldn't be lawbreakers. And he was very happy to chase every fixed penalty notice that occurred under the Conservatives. What Rachel Reeves looks like she has done is a criminal offence. It is the Housing Act that Labour brought in 2004 that says that under these regulations, if you have not followed the council guidelines, you are creating a criminal offence. And not just that, Rachel Reeves tweeted 10 days ago saying these were fantastic regulations. She likes to see them in her constituency. She wants to see it extended. And then it turns out that it hasn't applied to her. I think that is astonishing hypocrisy.
But not through her own fault.
Well, let's wait and see. This is where an investigation is necessary.
Well, is it really? Because we've heard from the estate agents today that basically they made a mistake.
Well, they didn't say they made that's not quite what they said. It's still your duty. It's still your duty to make sure that something has been followed. They said that they didn't chase it up, but she was made aware. The family were made aware that they had to follow those regulations. This is why an investigation.
But if you have a letting agent, you expect them to sort of carry that through.
Well, then why didn't that work for Angela Rayner?
Well, that was much more serious.
Well, this is they didn't say it was about the seriousness of the offence. They said if a law's been broken, a law's been broken.
Okay.
I'm only holding them to their standards because I don't go about pretending that I'm perfect. They spent 5 years pretending that they were the most perfect people, and now we've had resignation after scandal after resignation. So let the ethics advisor investigate, and if there's no problem, then it's absolutely fine. But she is the Chancellor. This is an offence that she is supposed to have committed as Chancellor, a criminal offence. And maybe it is the letting agent's fault. But isn't it funny with Labour? It's always somebody else's fault. Always. It's never their own fault.
You just left me with an opening there. You said, I'm not perfect. So my question to you has to be, how are you not perfect, Kemi Badenoch?
In many ways, like all human beings. I don't pretend to be. We're not going there because we will be on this call all evening. I don't actually like to see people chased around for every single infraction. Do you remember when Rishi had a fixed penalty notice because he did a video without a seatbelt?
You didn't call him to be fired.
Yeah, but he wasn't the person jumping on those things. That's the difference. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying they should be held to the standard.
But you're being inconsistent. If you didn't call for Boris Johnson, you were a member of the cabinet, so you couldn't really have done.
But this is different. I'm asking Keir Starmer to hold himself to the standard which he demanded. And these are his words. He's the one who said that they'd be whiter than white. Lawmakers shouldn't be lawbreakers. So fine. Hold yourself to the standard which you said. Asking me not to say anything because actually, it's all very minor. It can't be one rule for them and another for everyone else. If they want to play fair, then they should accept that everybody sometimes makes mistakes, but that's not who they are. They have been playing holier than thou, and all that's happened is they've been covered in muck right from their Lord Ali sleaze scandal till today, whether it's Louise Haigh stealing mobile phones or Angela Rayner with her not paying her stamp duty or Peter Mandelson. It's just one thing after another.
But cruel people might say, well, Kemi Badenoch, you broke the law by hacking into Harriet Harman's website all those years ago.
Well, Who told them that? I did. No one knew that had happened. I came out, and it was when I was asked a similar question that, have you ever done anything naughty? And I said, yes, it's true. I once played a prank, and I put I guessed Harriet Harman's password. I put a picture of Boris Johnson on her website saying vote Boris, and I thought it was very funny. It was a prank. But I actually said, you know what? I did something wrong. At the time, this was in my 20s. It was a summary offence. So it wasn't it was like speeding, basically. I think it's actually now a more serious offence. But the bottom line is that I never pretended that I'd never done anything wrong. And I wasn't out there hounding everybody to resign. So all I'm saying is follow your own standards.
Okay. Well,
if Rachel Reeves does need to resign, it should be what she's done to the economy.
Well, we might come on to that in a bit, because I'm sure our listeners will have some questions on that. Just finally on this, Miriam Cates, your former colleague, former Tory MP, has tweeted this afternoon, if most Brits seriously think that inadvertently failing to obtain an obscure housing rental licence makes someone unfit to serve as Chancellor, then quite frankly, we richly deserve to be governed by uninspiring technocrats. Nadhim Zahawi has done a thumbs up on that as well. She's right, isn't she?
Well, I think Rachel Reeves is an uninspiring technocrat. So we already have the uninspiring technocrat. But the fact is, this morning, I was in that area. I was in Southwark, where that's the council area that has those regulations. And two landlords came up to me and said, we have been paying thousands of pounds for those fees. They've been paying thousands. So why should they pay thousands and Rachel not have to? And especially when she knew about those regulations. So Miriam is wrong saying they're obscure. They weren't so obscure that Rachel Reeves didn't know about them. She knew about them and tweeted about it and said it should be extended.
Are you relevant?
Yes. I love getting this question. Polls are just polls. They move up and down. The Greens have not overtaken us. We are doing the hard job of coming back after a historic defeat. Labour is in government. They should be riding high. But I know that the election is the key thing, not the polls. In the 80s, the SDP Liberal Alliance was polling well over 50%, and they were talking about going to their constituencies and preparing for government, and nothing happened. What we need to do now, certainly for the Conservative Party, Labour is not my problem, I'm in charge of the Conservative Party, is show people what it is that Conservatives stand for.
You mentioned Sarah Pochin there. I mean, when you heard her remarks about ethnic minority representation in advertising, what was your first thought that went through your head? Were you actually offended by it?
Well, I just rolled my eyes because I think they're very silly people and they don't think through what they say. I do actually, as it happens, feel that ethnic minorities are overrepresented in advertising. But why it happens is the interesting thing. It is because everybody is trying to meet a target. If one person is doing it, it works. If everybody is doing it, then something weird happens and they're overcompensating. But we should be talking about making sure that the advertising standards are fit for purpose. Instead, saying that it makes you sick or it makes you mad or whatever it was, that's just, it offends people. I mean, how does she think my children would feel hearing that? We need to make sure that as politicians, we speak responsibly, even when we can see something that's not working quite well. We've got to make sure that the language we use is fit for purpose.
And finally, would you rather go out for dinner, wait for it, with Ed Davey or Zack Polanski?
Do I have to?
Yes, one or the other.
I think Zack Polanski's got that weird boob thing, so I would go with Ed Davey. I think Ed's a decent guy, so I wouldn't be worried about
that weird
anything.
boob thing.
Does he have I wouldn't want him to try and hypnotise me or whatever it is.
That's a great place to end.